Do you know what would be justice right now?
Losing.
Is if Man United, a mid-table team, let's call it what they are. They are a mid-table team.
Ouch.
Upset these
apple
people that
cart,
are like, and it's the first time that Liverpool have lost at home in a year.
Wow. That's how
How significant.
Yeah.
So we can go on about, let's give Man United fans their 3 minutes because it's been a while. It's been 9 years since they've had a chance. But if you're a Liverpool fan on the reverse side of it, and the British media love to build it up.
Yeah.
Are you in that slump? Are you in that, can you come back? Must Arne Slot be fired? Right?
Goodness me, what was the score?
Only 2-1.
Still.
Just 2-1.
Don't be a Liverpool fan.
Hey?
Don't be a Liverpool fan.
I'm not. I'm just stating that given I don't think anybody saw it coming.
Yeah.
I think at most
a draw. Yeah.
But it was a really good game of football. As I said, first back-to-back League One this season for United. And Mbeumo put United ahead after 63 seconds. Liverpool's Cody Gakpo hit the woodwork 3 times in that game. He got the equaliser, and it was Harry Maguire who headed in the winner in the 83rd minute. Here's Maguire.
No, it's been playing on my mind for sure that we haven't won here for that amount of time. It's been difficult for our fans to come here, and our fans are the best fans in the world. They follow us up and down the country, and when they come here they sing and their heart out. We gave them a good performance here last year where we felt like we should have won the game. Today was more of a fighting spirit performance where we fight.
Aston Villa came from a goal down to beat Tottenham Hotspur 2-1 for a 5th win in a row. Arsenal tops the table 1 ahead of Manchester City, with Bournemouth 3rd and Liverpool down to 4th. In the CAF Champions League, Sundowns thrashing Nigeria's Remo Stars 5-1, but Orlando Pirates could face not making the group stages. They lost 3-0 to St. Elua Lupopo in Congo. In the Betway Premiership, Gallants beat Chippa United 2-1. The Proteas men take on Pakistan in the second test. That starts at 7 a.m. South Africa has Spinner Maharaj back from injury. Captain Aiden Markram.
Yeah, Kesha's available. That's why he's here. Obviously great to have him back in the camp. He brings lots of experience and a really good skill set as well. So it's great having him back. And for us, very important to try level the series. So we're looking forward to this game starting tomorrow. An opportunity for us to level the series, but also to keep improving in these conditions and fixing some of the stuff that we feel needs fixing from the first game.
In fact, Pakistan have won the toss and elected to bat first there. Other results from yesterday: Australia beating India by 7 wickets in a rain-reduced first ODI. At the Women's World Cup, England beat India by 4 runs, booking their place in the semi-final along with South Africa and Australia. Max Verstappen won the US Grand Prix ahead of Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton and Piastri. With 5 races to go, Piastri leads Norris in the championship by 14 points. Verstappen reduced his deficit to 40. In MotoGP, a first ever win for Raul Fernandez ahead of DJ Antonio and Betseki. South African Brad Binder, who started in 16th, finished in 8th. And in the United Rugby Championship, it's the Stormers who topped the table after the weekend. They won along with the Bulls and Lions, as the Sharks were the only SA side to lose this weekend. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for general practitioners, dentists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Kuveni.
It's so nice to know the business risk is taken care of by Business Outsurance. The call center was just a dream to deal with. Very seamless, easy experience, and it just feels like the people we're talking to on the other line understand our needs.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9. We'll be speaking to Pick n Pay Group CEO Sean Summers. We do this every Wednesday to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hi, I'm Bongani. My name is Felton. I am 10 years old. I go to Linwood Ridge Primary School, and I would like to be an engineer when I grow up. I am very excited to play the Whiz Quiz, and I hope I do very well.
Selton, we can't wait to play with you too. You sound very confident. I'm looking forward to it.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
12 to 7, let's catch up with the roads that crash On the M2 East, Amo, how bad is it?
Well, it's really a horrible one, Bongani. It's causing about a 20-minute hold-up coming out of the Crown interchange towards Wemapan Road. Please be on the lookout there. Traveling on the opposite side of this road, do expect heavier traffic volumes due to peak time delays. While on the N3 North, we've got delays between the Elands interchange and the Van Buren Road exit. Roadworks are taking place along this route. Please try to avoid this delay by using the N17 East towards Germiston while traveling in the city of Tshwane. Delays on the R80 East Mabopane Highway towards Eskom Patlele Drive. Peak time pressure there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Coming up in the next hour, What's the Question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So firstly, 1,000 Rand for the answer. Send us an answer based on anything you heard on the show, and you could win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. Then later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer, and for their little troubles, we'll give them 2,000 Rand. Now, you always stand a better chance of being selected to give us that answer if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So what are you waiting for? SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Alarm goes off, but silently. And now you're late for everything. Leave. Cancel the day before you leave.
I knew it.
1 tick, 2 ticks, blue tick. Hectic.
Yeah, I'm going to need a mac and cheese.
Adulting is hard. Instead of curling up or crashing out, try the new Nando's mac and cheese with delicious cheesy bechamel sauce, topped with crispy peri crumble. Get it as a side with any meal or by itself, because you're just a baby.
Naked people smell expensive because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums and more money on fancy French colognes with names they can't pronounce. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And because it's all online, it also costs less. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start smelling like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Top of the morning, Mr. Bingwa in 702 Landers. Oh man, what a disaster this Sunday was in the marathon. Thankfully for me, I wasn't feeling well on Friday, so I decided to have someone to collect the race pack for me, and I sold off the accommodation. My heart goes out to all the runners impacted and affected by this. I hope we don't live to see a repeat of all of this. Thanks for a great show. Tsepo in Boksburg.
Tsepo in Boksburg. Up next, we speak to Clark Gardner, the CEO of the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon, to deal with exactly some of those issues.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Give away some cash though. In the meantime, let's see if we can give away 10,000 Rand to Sultan, who is a 10-year-old scholar at Linwood Ridge Primary School. So all of Linwood Ridge is hopefully listening. Sultan wants to be an electrical engineer a little later on in life. Sultan, are you ready to play?
Yes.
Here we go. That's the confident answer we like to hear. KG, start the clock. Spell the word pending.
Please repeat.
Spell the word pending.
Pending.
Correct. How many continents are there in the world?
7.
Correct. Complete the saying. Birds of the same feather flock what?
Together.
Correct. How many weeks are there in a year? 52 or 60?
52.
Correct. Which word means watchful? Is it arrogant or vigilant?
Vigilant.
Correct. True or false? Libra is one of the signs of the zodiac.
True.
Correct. What is 12 times 12?
12 times 12 is 156.
144. Which direction does the sun rise from? The south or the east?
East.
Correct. What's the capital of Japan?
Tokyo.
Correct. I can't complete the question. You did really, really well there. That calculation just, messing you up a little. Sultan, a really, really credible 8 out of 10. 800 Rand is what you walk away with. You were just 2 more correct answers from the 10,000 Rand. Now, if you're aged 10 to 13 and you reckon you can give it a go like Sultan, send us a WhatsApp voice note and we could be calling you to play the Whiz Quiz.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Indeed, it is Breakfast with me, Bongani Bingwa. Of course, yesterday, one of the big events over the weekend around the country was the Cape Town Marathon, which was cancelled at the last minute. Here is how that announcement unfolded as runners gathered to start at the race yesterday morning.
From our side, due to the safety reasons for the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon, it has been cancelled. The event will not go ahead. Further updates will be communicated. So unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we are very sad to say that the event has been cancelled. Please keep up to date on our social media channels and communication for further notice. That means that you can go home. Thank you.
24,000 runners, as you can imagine, really shocked at the turn of events. But the race was cancelled due to severe winds that obviously posed a safety risk to participants. After months of training, flights, hotels booked, many were ready to cross that coveted finish line, but it was not to be so. Clark Gardner is the CEO of the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon and joins us now on the line. Clark, I would imagine you are probably just as disappointed as many of those runners, if not more.
Good morning. Yes, I mean, we're all devastated. The entire team is devastated. We spend months planning and preparing for this event and preparing for everything that is in our control. We courageously aimed very, very high at global standards and are extremely saddened and disappointed and devastated that the event didn't go ahead. So yes, I would agree, but at the same time, we're also amazed at the understanding and support from our participants, from our community, and especially our sponsors. It really has been a humbling experience.
I mean, that decision to cancel came at 4:45, with communication obviously then going to the runners shortly after. And that was an hour or so before the scheduled start. Was there any kind of hint that overnight this might happen?
We knew the gusts were coming. We certainly no Weather Bureau is as accurate, I suppose, as we would like it to be. And we had prepared accordingly, but we didn't prepare for gale force gusts. And you can't prepare for it. The 16 kilometers of fencing we use, because we got such a complicated route, is all over, and the wind was moving it across the roads, through Woodstock, through Salt River, through Main Road. Those fencing was ending up upside down and on the other side of the road, and that's a hazard. That's a massive hazard. We also couldn't at all put up water tables to hydrate our runners. It was not safe for our staff to put them up right throughout the night. So from after midnight, we were fighting the winds and the damage it was causing.
Yeah.
Our race village was declared unsafe at 2 a.m. And we had all hands on deck in order to rectify any of that which is unsafe. But unfortunately, the powers that be made a call that at 4:45, as you say, that the event has to be cancelled. This will not be a safe event. And primarily so, I think, was the road furniture not being able to set up en route, the fences blowing across the road, but also we had an unsafe race village. So we had people in My City buses locked and loaded at all the different pickup points. We had another 12,000 participants en route. So we couldn't let that 12,000 plus the 6,000 in the buses and in our transport come to an unsafe area. So that was also a primary concern.
So what happens now? I mean, is there any consideration of, and I don't know if you give medals for a race that wasn't completed, any maybe compensation of sorts, some kind of refund? Is there anything like that on the table being considered?
The medals, definitely. We are now putting our minds together to make sure that our participants have some sort of mechanism to earn their medal. We sit with 24,000, 2025 medals, and we would like to hand them out, but we also want it to be earned. In terms of the refunds or the entries that people have lost, we were incredibly taken back by our title sponsors, Sanlam, who has committed to sponsoring all 2025 participants an entry into either 2026 or 2027's event, where we will make sure they have preferred access to those entries.
One of the questions that's come through our listeners, Clark, is that next year you've announced you're moving this race to May. In the context of the Two Oceans, which is usually in April, and of course the Comrades in June, there are many participants who would have previously run all three who may not do so with that tightness of all of them packed in that way. What's the reasoning?
Well, I suppose we're a little bit justified. October's a windy month, and also has much heat. So there's a good reason why May's a cooler. It's autumn. It's later in May. It's also the least wind in Cape Town statistically. So it is one of the reasons. The second reason is that we now challenging global marathon runners to attract a global audience, and the Avid World Marathon Majors are more dense in the second half of the year. So only London, Boston, and Tokyo is in the first half of the year, with 6 others either being candidates or being majors in the second half of the year, plus Valencia and a few other major marathons. And so on the global calendar, it made more sense to be in the first half of the year and fit in between. Only 10% of our runners would be using our marathon as a qualifier for Comrades. And we're a month after Two Oceans, so perhaps, we understand the dilemma and the selection, but if we want to attract 20,000 tourists a year, we've really got to be focusing on the global calendar and not just the local calendar.
So people will just simply have to make a tough choice. Appreciate your time. Clark Gardner there, the CEO of the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon. If you were affected, I'd love to hear how you made up for it. I saw some people choosing to run their own races that obviously weren't part of the official sanctioned program, but they tried to make the best of the time because they were dressed and ready. What did you do? How did you spend that rest of your Sunday?
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview is with Colin Coleman, who's the former CEO of Goldman Sachs Sub-Saharan Africa and now a non-resident fellow at the Atlantic Council's Africa Center. And he believes South Africa is well on its way to sliding to a mafia state. And is it too late?
This is EWN.
Not all hope was lost for Sanlam marathon runners after being dealt a blow, and Trump says the Gaza ceasefire is still in force after Israeli strikes. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Participants of the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon say they had to lift each other's spirits after the event was cancelled. Race organisers called off the marathon yesterday morning after heavy winds caused havoc overnight, damaging infrastructure along the race route. 5-time Sanlam Cape Town Marathon runner Lauren Kensley says was a special experience to see hundreds of runners take to the streets despite being disappointed by the cancellation.
I must say that I was amazed by the thousands of club runners who made the best out of a bad situation and went off for their own runs towards Camps Bay. The early morning streets were overrun with athletes and the spirits were high. It was a really special experience.
The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry resumes this morning with 3 witnesses who will testify in private. It's understood that they are part of a team investigating criminal cartels operating in Gauteng. Last week, Witness X also testified in a closed session about police operations. The commission was set up to investigate allegations of corruption and political interference within the criminal justice system. Oren Singh reports.
Witnesses A, B and C will appear before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry between today and tomorrow. The witnesses, who form part of a team investigating criminal cartels operating in Gauteng, will testify remotely with their voices broadcast live for public distribution. In a statement yesterday, Commission spokesperson Jeremy Michaels confirmed the 3 are serving detectives attached to either the Gauteng Counterintelligence Operations Unit or the Political Killings Task Team. Evidence leaders are expected to explain this morning why the hearings are being held partially in camera. Proceedings are scheduled to begin at 9:30. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
In KwaZulu-Natal, a police officer accused of killing crime intelligence official Constable Sibonelo Ngidi is expected to appear in the Pinetown Magistrates Court today. Ngidi was shot last week in what authorities believe was a case of road rage. The Hawks later identified the suspect as a member of the police's rapid rail unit. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
After the fatal shooting of Constable Sibonelo Ngidi, the suspect fled the scene and managed to avoid arrest, even after the Hawks tried to track him down at his workplace. According to police, the shooting followed a confrontation over a right-of-way, with the officer allegedly threatening to shoot Ngidi moments before opening fire. Family spokesperson Siyangiti says they are now calling for justice.
Constable Ngidi was a humble person to us as a family, and also in the community. Even at work, he was also a good person. So now we want justice in this matter. We thank you.
Investigators are still probing whether the firearm used was a state-issued weapon. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
And US President Donald Trump says a ceasefire in Gaza is still holding after Israel carried out deadly strikes on the territory over alleged truce violations by Hamas. The dozens of strikes Israel carried out on Hamas positions in southern Gaza yesterday came after it accused the militant group of targeting its troops in a blatant violation of the 9-day-old truce. Hamas has denied the accusations, with one of its officials accusing Israel of fabricating pretexts to resume the war. Gaza's civil defense agency, which operates under Hamas authority, says the strikes killed at least 45 people across the territory. Asked by reporters whether the truce was still in effect, this is how Trump responded.
Well, we're going to have to see what's happening. We want to make sure that it's going to be very peaceful with Hamas. And as you know, they've been quite rambunctious. They've been doing some shooting, and we think maybe the leadership isn't involved in that. Some rebels within. But either way, it's going to be handled properly.
Gold is trading at $4,250.62 an ounce. The rand is at 17.36 to the dollar, 23.31 to the pound, 20.23 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $61.10 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the N1 South between the Brakfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. In fact, if you are traveling in the Midrand area along Summit Road towards Lever Road, there's conditions of flooding along this route. Please drive and approach with care. If you can, try to avoid this route at all costs.
And in your sport, Pakistan elects to bat in the second test against the Proteas. England's women qualify for the World Cup semi-final along with South Africa and Australia. Manchester United end a 9-year Anfield drought, beating Liverpool 2-1. Max Verstappen believes he can still win the World Championship after back-to-back wins in the USA.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers. Johannesburg starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 16. Pretoria 13 and 18 degrees. For the Vereeniging 12 and 18 degrees as well. The top story in EWN this hour: participants of the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon say they had to lift each other's spirits after the event was cancelled.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Well, the good news, 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. Welcome to the program if you've just joined us. It's Monday, the 20th of October. Many participants in the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon would have been expecting to be having their medals today. We just heard now from Clark Gardner, who's the CEO, who says those 2025 medals will still be given to participants who registered. And the good news, he says, is if you registered for this year's race and couldn't run, you'll have free entry and prioritization for next year or 2027, depending on which of the two you choose. But also, the spanner in the works, I imagine, are for people who have proudly run the Two Oceans, the Comrades, and the Cape Town Marathon, now having to make different choices because next year's race is going to be on the 24th of May, or towards the end of May. So that's where we are on that one.
I'm Bongs John here from Randburg. With regards to Cape Town Marathon being cancelled, listen, it must have been very, very serious in order to cancel. But also the problem is Cape Town is the world marathon circuit, so they seriously need to rethink it. May, I don't know if it's going to work because all the locals are doing Two Oceans and Comrades. So yeah, best of luck to them, unless next year they move to Joburg.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Another important story on the front page of the Business Day today. The government planning to revive its mothballed pebble bed modular reactor program. This is part of a new energy blueprint. We heard from the Electricity and Energy Minister, Dr. Josie yesterday, briefing the media on the Integrated Resource Plan for 2025. This is usually, of course, what is published as a roadmap on how the country is going to balance the energy mix. Have a listen.
Anyone who denies, who rejects nuclear as a solution is just denialism and just a rejection of what the evidence suggests to us, what science is saying, and this is the route that we are taking. We are constructing a story about how we are going to get the South African economy back on its feet, and we know that we are going through an exceptionally difficult period as a result of, amongst others, and chiefly really electricity, what you and I refer to load shedding. So cumulatively between now and 2039, what is it that we are adding? Now you see there's an appearance of nuclear. Nuclear is a big part of our conversation. Nuclear we're building 5,200 megawatts of new nuclear capacity in this country. I have made the point that the state will not prevaricate. The state will ensure that we are very deliberate, we are transparent in the manner in which we are going to procure this clean energy solution. And nuclear, I want to say to the country that is a big part of what we'll be doing.
In fact, he went on to say that by 2039, the idea and the plan is that for the first time, South Africa will generate more electricity from clean energy sources than from fossil fuels.
The third thing that we are doing today is that for the first time since the recorded history of this country, especially on the production side of electricity, for the first time now, we are going to see that the electricity that is generated from cleaner sources of energy is going to be greater than the fossil fuels. So your cleaner sources, I'll show you what those are. They include hydro, nuclear, wind, solar. They are going to surpass coal as a primary source of electricity in the country. So the country electricity and energy complex is pivoting, and from now on, once we implement this program, is going to be cleaner than before.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9
11 after 7, things you need to know at this hour. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry will continue its closed-door hearings in Pretoria this week. Remember, of course, they are probing corruption, criminality, political interference, all alleged in the law enforcement agencies in South Africa. It was on this day in 1974 the world witnessed the legendary rumble in the jungle in what was called then Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Boxing icons Muhammad Ali and George Foreman facing off, and Ali using his famous rope-a-dope strategy. Ahmed, you know what the rope-a-dope strategy was? So what it is a boxer leans against the ropes, and of course Ali did it with that elegance where he was dancing, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is to give the impression to your opponent that you are tired, you are trapped, and they're just throwing all their punches. But you're sitting comfortably because all you're doing is blocking the punches that are coming your way, and you conserve your own energy. And when your opponent is completely worn out, and you've got to remember, George Foreman was known for his massive punching. And all Ali kept saying was, "Is that all you got, man? Is that all you got, man? Come on, man. You George Foreman, man. Is that all you got?" And he just wore him out. And as soon as he figured out Foreman was tired, Ali got out from those ropes and he dealt him the blow. That was in 1974, with, of course, a crowd yelling, Ali Mumbaye, Ali Mumbaye, which meant Ali Mbulal. Isn't that amazing how our languages are the same? Over in the US over the weekend, millions taking part in the No Kings protests against the Trump administration, voicing opposition to what they're saying are authoritarian practices. There were crowds in New York City, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, and a few other American cities. So do you know what President Trump has done since?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, guys. Well, Trump, he has put out a video, an AI video. So it's not him, obviously. But in it, Trump is depicted wearing a crown and he flies one of these military jets. And he goes over a crowd that looks like one of these crowds from these No Kings protests. And the jet just dumps liters and liters and liters of what looks like sewage on the protesters. That's what he thinks of Americans. It really is an extraordinary thing, an extraordinary moment in America. Paramount shutting down its 5 MTV channels: MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90s, MTV, and MTV Live. This will all happen after December 1931. And for anyone who marks the Festival of Lights, happy Diwali, everybody. A celebration symbolizing the triumph of light over darkness, good over evil, knowledge over ignorance.
702. Up next.
The Big Interview.
EWN.
The 7:15, Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. The slow traffic in Midrand. Amo, tell us what's going on there.
Well, Bongani, that's due to a major accident scene reported on the N1 North right near New Road. Delays from Allendale Road, and then still in the same area, you still have got those delays on Olifantsfontein Road towards the N1 exit. And then there's also queuing traffic along the R55 main road. This is just as you approach Mopani Road. There's an accident there as well as roadworks. So please be on the lookout, drive with care, and please plan your trips ahead of time. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 88. You accidentally set your alarm for 6 p.m. instead of 6 a.m. I doubt your bosses will buy that, hey? Well, fortunately, with the Outsurance Pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance Pointsman ease traffic congestion to get you there quickly and safely. They've been doing it since 2005. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
The South African Future Trust Summit is back and bolder than ever. This year, Standard Bank joins as headline sponsor, underscoring the summit's role as South Africa's leading platform for entrepreneurship. On 5 and 6 November at the Sandton Convention Centre, connect with leading entrepreneurs, investors and change makers. This is where bold ideas meet transformative investments. Get your tickets now at summits.southafricanfuturetrust.org in partnership with 702.
Super excited, super excited, super excited. The ABSA Swiper is back on 702. And I just know you're going to be excited as I am, because in this game, timing is everything. One word could change your life. So you went up to 30,000 Rand in cash in just a sec. With summer almost in full swing, I can think of thousands of awesome things I could do with all that cash, eh? So stop dreaming and start doing. Enter now by sending hashtag Swiper Rewards to this number 067 384 0022. So that's 067 384 0022. And we could be calling you on 702 Breakfast with me, Bongani Bingwa, to give you a shot at playing up to 25,000 Rand in cash. We'll throw in a 5,000 Rand bonus if you're an active ABSA Rewards member. And there's more. If you're 18 years or older, an ABSA Rewards member, and you have a valid driver's license, you could go into the grand prize draw for a brand new JQ J5 Vortex. And they'll throw in 3 months free insurance premiums from ABSA Insurance. Only on 702, hey? Your story matters. ABSA, Absa is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
Looking for real ways to live greener? Then don't miss Green Tip of the Week, your weekly dose of sustainable inspiration. From eco entrepreneurs to climate champions, we sit down with the people making real change. Catch the Green Tip of the Week. It's every Tuesday on Afternoon Drive with John Perlman between 3 and 6 p.m. and it's only on 702. Proudly brought to you, of course, by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
19 after 7, on to this now. South Africa's challenges are enormous and mounting. Take your pick. Rising unemployment, deepening inequality, stagnant economic growth, and rampant corruption, as we have seen in these last few weeks. All sorts of allegations around what is happening with our political class, law enforcement, and ties to the criminal underworld. In a stunning piece yesterday in the Sunday Times, an article by Kefas Hossana, former Goldman Sachs Sub-Saharan Africa CEO Colin Coleman is now warning the country is near that boiling point. He's calling for urgent reforms to boost economic growth and to restore accountability, and is arguing that without decisive action, South Africa's deep structural problems and growing instability could spark massive social unrest, possibly even trigger early national and provincial elections before 2029. And so we've invited Colin Coleman to join us to explain exactly what he means and whether or not we can reverse some of the slide. He joins us now on the line. Colin Coleman, as I say, the former Goldman Sachs Sub-Saharan Africa CEO and co-founder and co-chairman of the Youth Employment Service, which is, of course, a non-profit organization. Colin Coleman, a very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Morning, thanks for having me.
You are warning, as you did in that piece in the Sunday Times yesterday, that we are now, as South Africa, facing a real risk of becoming a mafia state. What do you mean by that?
Well, I warned some time ago, actually, in a speech I gave for the Youth Employment Service, that as unemployment hits 43%, that means effectively 12 million people out of jobs looking for jobs and 17 million people in work, that unless we create opportunities, that inequality and that joblessness will create fertile ground for the rise of organized crime and for the political channel to be used as a vehicle, a transmission belt, for those who seek economic opportunity to do so informally, illegally, untaxed, through the merging of political, informal, and even criminal networks. And what we've seen of late with the Madlanga Commission is allegations that the police have been infested with links with crime supported by the political networks, as one example. But we've seen many other examples in hospitals, in mining, in illegal mining, in various forms of construction mafia, and so on and so forth, of the rise of a myriad of these networks. But what we haven't yet seen is the emergence of a central mafia network. And one is concerned that unless we create economic opportunity and let growth effectively absorb those looking for work, that will create fertile grounds for the deepening and acceleration of this kind of mafia networks.
How would that illicit economy crowd out the formal economy, as you warn?
Well, let's be clear. Business is one of the major lines of defense in South Africa. The private sector provides overwhelmingly most of the jobs that I've talked to, the 17 million jobs out there. So but it's circular because business needs confidence to invest, and investment is needed to create jobs. Without jobs, the marginalized turn to crime.
Yeah.
But business needs a safe and supportive investment environment, and criminal networks will increasingly crowd out business. So it's very, very important that we double down on supporting business investment and growth through a supportive environment from the government for business to do its job and for us to create jobs for the unemployed.
South Africa's public debt is now projected to reach, 87% of GDP by the year 2030. That's what we're hearing from people like the IMF. Does that then mean this trend, this low growth environment, this low business confidence environment, all of that is here to stay for the foreseeable future?
Well, one would hope one can turn it around. I mean, the fact is that we've had, effectively 3.3% growth from 1994 until 2007 under the Mandela and Mbeki regime, and effectively post 2007, which was the double whammy of the global financial crisis, and Zuma and state capture taking over, we've had 1% growth in the past 15 years, but our population growth is about 1.5%. So we obviously need to increase our growth rates in order to absorb this debt. That is the lesson from global precedent that effectively in places like the United States and others, when growth outstrips population growth on a sustained basis, one grows fast enough to pay the interest on the debt and to start to digest the debt and to bring it down. And that's what we need to do. We need a sustainable higher growth path, at least 3%, if not more, in order to start to turn this around and to bring our debt down. But we can't do that without stimulating the economy. So there's some very critical choices to be made. And I am concerned that the next budget we see, where we saw this past year, we were unable to pass a budget for 6 months. Yeah. Effectively, that we are now, effectively 5 minutes to midnight. February, we will be looking at another budget. To balance the budget, we're going to have to cut something like 40 billion rand. But I don't think of expenditure, but I don't think the work it's not visible to me that the work is being done in the National Treasury to effectively reprioritize budget spending for productive investment. Because remember, consumption, which in lay terms is salaries, consumption will not create growth. We have to create productive investment to create more job opportunities in the public sector. So it's very, very important that they reprioritize budget expenditure and create room and space for production and growth in the public sector.
Colin, there have been some debates about that number of unemployed and some pointing out, of course, to the informal economy and saying, hang on, there are a lot of South Africans who are productive and part of economic activity. What's your view on that? Does that encourage you, at least looking at it as a glass half full? No?
No, my view is that the Stats South Africa actually does record what's known as the informal sector in their statistics. What is not being recorded is what I'm pointing to, which is the criminal, illegal, and untaxed economy, which I think is as big as $100 billion on top of our $400 billion of GDP. And all one has to do is observe what's happening on the ground when one goes to restaurants and one sees the amount of money being flashed around by young people, and one wonders how they have got to that and whether it's taxed and so on and so forth. So it's, I think it's very clear to me that there is a whole swathe of the economy that is not taxed, not recorded, is illegal. And this speaks to what I'm saying is that through procurement, through these illegal mafias, there is a whole range of business activities that ultimately will crowd out formal business activities. It's almost like we've got two worlds, what we used to call a two-speed society, one a formal economy that's taxed and that's recorded, and one a completely illegal economy that's growing, that is not recorded and not taxed.
And of course, as you point out, I mean, when many South Africans or indeed citizens of any country are excluded from all of this, that could also then spark instability and social unrest. We've already seen that kind of thing July 2021. And you're saying if that kind of thing were to happen without any sense of someone trying to reverse it, we might even see things like national and provincial elections come before they are due.
Yeah, I mean, I think that on the probability of risk, being an ex-banker, that's how I evaluate things. On the probability of risks, it is unlikely, given the rising temperature in society, the population watching, the increasing corruption, the amount of scandals happening, whether it's in the police, in the hospitals, in the schools, in the army, wherever it is, that the population will not, either through the largest party, the ANC, or through the Government of National Unity, or on the streets, build those pressures, as we've seen in Arab Spring societies. So one would ask oneself, when one sees an Arab Spring crystallize in one of these other countries, and we're seeing many of that, including in Madagascar at the moment, why did we not see in advance of that? What were the warning signs that this was coming? And what I'm basically saying is, unless we grow the economy and bring the rule of law to bear, there are signs that South Africa is heading towards a moment where we are going to potentially see a crystallization of these problems. In other words, a systemic melting down of the fabric of society, which is obviously scary. But what then we need a coalition of willing patriots from business, civil society, unions, good actors, good citizens, including in the government, in political parties. I'm not saying all political parties and all government actors and public servants are bad, but we need a coalition of willing patriots to mobilize in support of the rule of law and in support of economic growth, to provide the jobs, to get people off the streets and get people away from criminal, illegal, untaxed activities.
Sobering words there. Appreciate your time. Colin Coleman is the former Goldman Sachs Sub-Saharan Africa CEO.
EWN Business.
All right, this business report brought to you, proudly sponsored by GIC. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC sets a better standard of living. GIC changing lives. Let's talk world economies. Matteo, China's economy slowing down to 4.8% in the third quarter. How delighted we would be
for that number,
headline.
Right? Yeah, but for them, it's not good enough. China's economic growth slowed weakest pace in a year in the third quarter as the property crisis there and trade tensions hurt demand. Data this morning showed gross domestic product grew 4.8% between July and September, slowing from the 5.2% recorded in the second quarter. China's September coal output was down 1.8% year on year. Factory output improved, but retail sales were still down. China's property investment has also fallen 14% year on year. China is, of course, aiming for a 4-year growth of around 5%.
I put that question to Colin Coleman. 88% of debt to GDP ratio by 2030, the IMF says?
Yeah, it's a concerning number, and it's saying it's also still quite concerned. The International Monetary Fund warning that South Africa's debt burden continues to rise, weighed down by weak growth and high borrowing costs. SA's public debt is set to climb to 87% of GDP by 2030, a slight revision from an earlier forecast of 88% published by the IMF in April. Now, for every rand that the South African government collects, around 22 cents is spent on servicing debt. This means 22 cents of every rand is used to pay interest on government borrowing before any money is allocated to services like education and healthcare. South Africa's national government debt servicing costs are projected to reach 426 billion rand in the current financial year.
We'll need a reprieve at some point. Where's the rand?
17 rand 31 against the US dollar, still in a good position at 20 rand 21 cents against the euro, 23 rand 27 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,059 an ounce, or platinum is down close to 1% at $1,592. Brent crude at $61.02 a barrel. More business after 8.
Change requires skill, an agile body to fill the gaps. But real change moves collaboratively, progressively, enabling, because it knows what to do and how to improve the lives of the deserving. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC actively brings change for the better, because real change sets a standard of living, of being. GIC, changing lives.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, it's D-Day.
That's right, Bongani. If you still haven't filed your tax returns, today is the last day to do so. This is for non-provisional taxpayers to submit annual income tax returns. In a statement last week, SARS Commissioner Edward Kiswetter warned that failure to submit a return on time is a serious offence, and non-compliance could lead to administrative penalties and interest charges. At the time, he said that 80% of taxpayers had filed before the 20th of October deadline. This includes about 6 million taxpayers who had been auto-assessed and received their refunds within 72 hours. Lauren Isaacs reports.
The South African Revenue Service says it's made every effort to simplify and support the filing process through enhanced digital platforms, auto-assessment and accessible helplines. The Revenue Service says taxpayers have been empowered to meet their obligations with ease and efficiency. Commissioner Edward Kiswetter says, as part of their strategic focus to encourage voluntary compliance and enforce the law, SARS will continue to identify and act against those who do not meet their tax obligations. He says while many taxpayers wait until the last minute to file their returns, rushing invites errors, misjudgments, unnecessary stress, and long queues at SARS branches. Lauren Isaacs, Eyewitness News.
The city of Cape Town has extended its sympathies to thousands of runners who had spent months training for the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon, only for the event to be called off at the last minute. The marathon was cancelled yesterday morning after strong winds damaged the route and race infrastructure. Despite the cancellation, many runners still took to the streets, creating their own informal run along the marathon route. Graham Spiro, a member of the Pirates Road Running Club, says for many athletes this marathon was a big deal.
I was chatting to a woman who had been training for about 6 months for her first ever marathon. And then there is a whole bunch of people who would use this as a qualifying marathon to get in to run either the Two Oceans Marathon or Comrades next year.
Spiro says for out-of-town runners, the cancellation also came at a cost.
I'm aware that the 80-odd people who would have come down from Pirates would have had to fund an airfare and accommodation and invariably would have had a couple of meals out because they weren't staying at home. So there would have been real costs to many of those people.
And the South African Weather Service has issued a warning for severe thunderstorms in Gauteng, the Northwest and the Free State. Damaging winds, hail, heavy downpours and frequent lightning have been predicted for most of the week. Forecaster Litlogonolo Tobela.
This is due to heavy downpours as well as low-lying areas and bridges that may also be susceptible to localized flooding over the areas. Localized damage to infrastructure may also be possible due to damaging winds as well as a possibility of hail.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers. Today, the temperatures are at lows of 11 and 13 degrees, peaking at highs between 16 and 18 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident on the N1 North. That's in the Midrand area. It's right near the New Road exit. Delays coming out of Islandale Road while traveling on the N3 North, queuing traffic, heavy traffic volumes between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks.
The top story, if you still haven't filed your tax return, today is the last day to do so.
In fitness, as in finance, endurance is key. If you're 55 and older, you can get an interest rate of up to 10.47% with a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account. Now feel the earn. Invest in under 2 minutes on the Money app and get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. For more info, visit nedbank.co.za.
Selling your car has never been easier. We Buy Cars goes above and beyond to make the process simple, quick, and rewarding, helping you get the best price with zero hassle. Get a great offer for your car, bike, boat, or bakkie in just a few clicks. Just complete the form on webuycars.co.za and get your offer today. Or if you're looking to trade in or buy your next ride, you can choose from over 12,000 vehicles online or visit your nearest We Buy Cars branch or pod. With a wide range of vehicles and flexible insurance, finance, and cover options, you're guaranteed to drive away smiling. So whether you're buying or selling, We Buy Cars makes it easy. Visit webuycars.co.za or any We Buy Cars branch or pod today.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
I don't know why we're surprised that we are becoming, in inverted commas, a mafia state. We are a mafia state. We have been a mafia state. It is only now coming to the surface in full. I'm not sure why people can't see this. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. How many decades more must we go before something happens? I mean, we've been watching this rot. Nobody in the upper echelons are helping the situation. There are people with a voice that can stop the rot, but nobody's doing anything. So people like my son have to leave the country to go find work because there's nothing for the youth, let alone the old people. So God help us all is all I'm going to say.
Hey, Bongos. It sounds like your guest is assuming that crime is only committed by the marginalized. That's not in South Africa. South Africa, you have politicians who earn salaries committing crime. They are corrupt. So it's not only the marginalized. So unless I'm not hearing him clearly, but it's not only the marginalized. Even the ones with money are corrupt.
Good morning, Bongani. Happy Monday. Thank you for your guest. Thank you for your guest. Yeah, I'm not a politician. I am not an economist, but he's really putting things in place for me to understand the dire strait that we are in as a country with all the chachanyanyas that the people in charge are supposed to have seen and do right as servants of the country. And in the meantime, they are dealing with their own chachanyanyas at our expense once again. Hey, I'm worried for the future for our children. Really, I am.
Or we fix it, right? I think one of the things that always makes me feel positive, and I've insisted on this a number of times, the fact that we have a judiciary that isn't pressurized to make particular decisions for particular outcomes, the fact that we have a free media, that you and I can have this conversation, you can send in your WhatsApp voice notes and say what you are saying, and I can have a guest, such as what you've just heard, discuss what a mafia state will look like. I don't think he meant it's just the marginalized who participate in crime, but the key definition of a mafia state is when there's a fusion between government and criminal networks, where it's not just officials tolerating criminality, but in fact actively participating, if not leading it. It's when there are people who enrich themselves by gorging themselves on the state and then creating a network that allows them to get away with it, where the state essentially operates as a criminal organization. And he's saying, without economic growth, those avenues are going to become increasingly attractive for young people. And he talks about this display of wealth, these ostentatious displays, whether it could be at a restaurant, was his example, where you are seeing these young people, this bling culture, and he's thinking, surely this money might be as a result of ill-gotten gains. And that's exactly what you do with ill-gotten gains, isn't it? You want to show off everybody your Lamborghinis as we saw just the other day. And he's saying there's at a point where it tips over and you can't reverse it. I think we should take courage from the fact that we can still talk about these things. I think we can take courage from the fact that there is pressure. There are voices that are saying, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. And I think that, for me, is a positive sign.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand. So first we'll give you 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Lihlohonolo, who's in Northcliffe. Lihlohonolo, please give us today's answer.
Morning, Bong. Today's answer is paramount.
Paramount. And tell me, Lihlohonolo, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I do.
Your
Yes, I do,
biscuits. Your biscuits. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Right, there you have it. What's the question? If the answer is paramount, be the 7th caller now on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
All right, Cindy Paluta. We were outplayed in that first test, the Proteas men now versus Pakistan. Are we talking about the Proteas men?
Yes, we are.
Just as easily
The
Proteas women against the Pakistan
Right.
women. All right, so which side are we talking about?
We're talking about the Proteas men. They're in action on the go at the moment. It's day one of the second test where Pakistan won the toss, and maybe they know something we don't. They elected to bat. They're currently 32 without loss. The South Africans do have Maharaj back in from injury. At the Women's World Cup, England booked their place in the semi-final with South Africa and Australia. They beat India by 4 runs yesterday. It's taken 9 years, but Manchester United have finally beat Liverpool at Anfield 2-1. Mbeumo had United ahead after 63 seconds. After the break, Gakpo equalised before Harry Maguire snatched the winner 7 minutes from time. It's Liverpool's 4th loss in a row. Boss, yeah?
So I was going to say, poor Gakpo, hey?
Yeah. Every time he hit the bar, I was like,
Three times,
if that was a United player hitting the bar 3
Yeah.
times, I would turn to my friend and go, it's not United's day. This is there are games where it just hits the bar and you know your team is not going to win.
Shame.
It's like something in South Africa we would be asking for footage from the week of Anfield to see if there was any muti
Juju.
or juju put in the net. But anyway, here's Liverpool boss Arne Slot and what he thinks went wrong.
The result and the fact that we went 1-0 down so early, that makes it, I think if you play United with so many quality players they have, brought in a few new ones this summer, and if they come to us in a low block playing so many long balls, then the last thing you would want is going 1-0 down, because that gives them even more belief. So the second thing that went wrong is that from all the chances we got, we only scored 1 goal.
Aston Villa got a 5th win in a row, beating Tottenham Hotspur 2-1. One game tonight, West Ham host Brentford. Arsenal is top of the table ahead of City, Bournemouth, and Liverpool has dropped to 4th. In the CAF Champions League, Sundowns on track to make it to the group stages after they thrashed Nigeria's Remo Stars 5-1. But Orlando Pirates have a mountain to climb if they are to go further. They lost 3-0 to St. Eloi Lupopo in Congo. Max Verstappen won the US Grand Prix ahead of Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton, and then Piastri. Here's Verstappen.
Yeah, it's been for us an incredible weekend. We really maximized all the results, and I think today in the race what was key was just that first stint. Charles was of course battling with Lando, and that's why I could pull the gap, because I think as soon as Lando was in clean air it was very evenly matched, or he was slightly faster. We basically managed the gap till the end, but it was not super easy.
The South African men's and women's hockey teams have qualified for next year's World Cup, both teams winning the Africa Hockey Cup of Nations titles. The men beat Egypt 5-1 in the final. The women beat Ghana 4-0. The Springbok team for the end-of-year tour will be announced this morning at 10 o'clock. After the weekend's URC action, it's the Stormers who top the table, as the Sharks were the only South African side to lose. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Feel the rhythm of summer at the Old Mutual Music in the Gardens, featuring Mikasa and Jazeel Brothers, live on Saturday, 25 October at the Walter Sisulu Botanical Garden. Experience soulful sounds, sunshine, and good vibes in one of Joburg's most beautiful settings. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. Proudly presented by Old Mutual, 702 and Breakout Events.
Stamina Grow is a 5-in-1 supplement with amino acids, antioxidants, B vitamins, and other essential vitamins and minerals that help promote energy, well-being, immune defense, and mental vitality. Stamina Grow, 22 years of supporting Mzansi, ranked amongst the top 5 best performing multivitamin brands in South Africa. Stamina Grow, grow for it.
Running a business is tough. You need tools that just work. That's why more South African businesses are switching to Mac. At iStore, we make it easy with 4,000 rands in added value when you switch. That's 3 years extended warranty and remote tech support, leaving you to focus on everything else. Switch to Mac with iStore, your expert partner. T's and C's apply. Mac at iStore. Run smooth as business should.
EWN Traffic.
12 minutes before 8 o'clock, this EWN traffic brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. N3 North, there are roadworks there, and that's causing delays. Amo?
Heavy traffic volumes, Bongani. This is between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu Interchange Body. 30-minute hold up here. Please be on the lookout and try to use the R21 North if you're heading towards Pretoria or if you're heading towards Midrand. While traveling on the N1 North, this is in the Rand Park Ridge area. We've got an accident right near Bayaznodia Drive causing delays coming out of Albertina Sisulu Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South. This is as you head towards Midrand between the Braakfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance. Grand! Be late. Make everyone wait and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights. Grand! Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby. Grand! It's even got massage seats. Grand! Visit opel.co.za for more.
Naked people are great dancers. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin, they have more time to perfect their moves. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Huawei Watch GT6 Series, 2025's must-have smartwatch, introducing the king of power. Up to 21 days of unstoppable battery life in a sleek titanium and ceramic design that's as strong as it's stylish. The Trackmaster with 24/7 heart rate tracking, sleep monitoring, advanced health management, and the world's first cycling virtual power feature. Fully compatible with both iOS and Android. Get yours now from just 169 Rand a month over 36 months or 4,999 Rand at selected retailers. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is Paramount. Let's go to Tsulu in Pretoria. Tsulu, what's the question?
Hi, Bongani. The question is, which company is shutting down its MTV base?
Yes, indeed. All the MTVs, hey, all being shut down. On the 31st of December, I think it marks the end of an era in terms of how people consume music. I suppose, Sulu, do you care much about music videos these days?
No, Bongani. We watch YouTube and other stuff, but we will miss some TV.
We will indeed, won't we? I wonder if people care all that much about music videos these days. Sulu, you walk away with 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. It was that awkward moment, Amu. And I think it was in the late 90s. The singer Whitney Houston was being interviewed by MTV. And the interviewer says, "So, Whitney, tell me about your first memories of MTV." Assuming probably she'll say, "Oh, you know, when I was growing up, I used to watch MTV." She had a very different answer. Have a listen.
Memories of MTV. What are your earliest memories of MTV? Do you remember when you first saw it, what you thought?
Yeah, I remember that I couldn't get on. Yeah, I remember trying very hard to get You Give Good Love on MTV, and they weren't accepting it because it was very, very R&B kind of song. And then I remember coming up with Saving All My Love for You, and it hit so hard and exploded so heavy that they had no choice but to play it. I love it when they have no choice. I love it. I love it.
I was in high
school. I remember. I couldn't get on. That's what I remember. That's my earliest memory. I wanted to have You Good. And Just for context, You Give Good Love went all the way to number 2, and they said it was an R&B track. And Saving All My Love and the next 7 singles all went to number 1. And she says, I love it when you get it wrong.
You could spend 10 minutes hunting for the TV remote or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For her 2024 Kia Picanto, 52-year-old Janine now only pays 561 Rand a month. And for her 2025 Jatur Dashing, 29-year-old Sana pays just 796 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
If this ad caught your ear, imagine what Prime Media can do for your business. With SA's leading media company, your message reaches the right audience across radio, digital audio, video, and display. The Prime Impact Sales Event is coming to Joburg, 3 to 7 November, and Cape Town, 10 to 13 November. Register today for a free demo commercial, a custom campaign, and unbeatable annual partnerships. Seats are limited. Secure yours now at primeimpact.co.za.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus My Business Assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
In a world shaped by those who build, disrupt and reimagine, there comes a gathering not just minds, but of futures. The South African Future Trust Summit, in partnership with Standard Bank, is where top entrepreneurs, innovators and change makers converge. It's where the future of enterprise is redefined. On 5 and 6 November, you could be there. Stand a chance to win tickets to the South African Future Trust Summit on 702. WhatsApp the keyword SAFT with your name and ID number, telling us how you would benefit from attending the summit to 072-702-1702. Then catch 702 Drive with John Perlman to find out if you're a winner. The South African Future Trust Summit, in partnership with Standard Bank. Your summit, your way, on 702. TCs and more on primemediaplus.com.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bele.
Time now for the world of viral content. Talking of Bele, let's talk about nicknames.
Oh gosh, this was a very, very funny moment. It took place at the Social Justice Summit, which took place in Cape Town on Friday, and it was full of dignitaries. You name them, they were there, including our president. And there were 2 young scholars, grade 7 pupils, I think, that got up to address the audience. And this one grade 7 girl, who is from a school called Ikaya Primary School, just basically stole the whole show. And very confident and very natural, like she looks like she's made to get up and speak in front of people. And there was this moment where I'm sure her parents, if they were sitting in the audience, probably had a moment of pride, but also a moment of, oh goodness, why did you say that on a public platform? So she's never met the president before. And this is how she says hello to the president on the stage. Take a listen.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Morning.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Professor Tunima Donsela for letting me to come to the stage and shine here. It's an honor to be here, and it's my first time seeing the president. Hello, Cupcake.
Batum. Right?
I mean, and the crowd just kept on cheering and really laughing out loud. But I'm sure your parents were like, no, man, no, you can't say that. Because we know the allegations of Cupcake and where it comes from. It's alleged, that's what some of these ladies he was looking after financially called him on text messages. Anyway, he goes on stage later and he kind of says he doesn't know where Cupcake comes from. And then much later, he has a really special moment with her and they, takes photos and all that kind of stuff. So he took it very, very well. But yeah, nicknames. So there's either nicknames, Bongles, that, you know that you get called that name and you like the name and people call you that name in social circles or whatever it may be. But then there are nicknames that people have for you, and maybe they don't necessarily call you that nickname to your face. So I want to know.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to know, first of all, there's two things. What is your nickname that you like and you're fond of? And then, is there a nickname that you have for somebody that maybe you don't share with that person? And perhaps you've shared it with them by accident, because you're so used to kind of calling them that name. So let's see if we got those this morning.
The nicknames and the secret nicknames either you have for other people or you've found out people have for you.
702. Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
So Baphelile,
Yes, Bongani?
you have one of two choices.
Mm-hmm.
Either you tell me what my nickname is that I don't know, or I'm going to tell all of 702 Land what my nickname for you is.
No, I don't have
as
a
a
nickname
team,
for you.
As a team, behind the scenes.
Honestly, we don't.
When you guys go, ooh.
Sometimes we
you
just call
started.
you a drama queen, a little bit. Sometimes. It's not your nickname.
He started the drama queen.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, drama queen.
Wow.
I hope I don't get into trouble.
Wow.
He asked for it. Otherwise, he's going to expose me. And I don't want him to say my nickname on air.
There's nothing wrong with your
There
nickname.
is. No, don't say it, please.
But he...
Okay, no, I gave you the options. I mean, it might just slip out.
Please don't. On our feedback today, many people are upset about the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon, the marathon. A lot of people are still in Cape Town. They're unhappy because they spend a lot of money. And they're saying to these big companies and organizers, they must do better and plan ahead. I don't know how.
do they plan for gale force winds of the kind we saw over the weekend?
They're just insisting that they must do better. They're saying they must do better because they spend their monies to travel, accommodation, and it's understandable.
Because ultimately, these guys are trying to save their lives, right?
Mm-hmm. They were forcing to even run with the wind,
I saw some videos of people affected by that wind in Cape Town yesterday. This one woman was hanging on some kind of railing and it looked like she could be blown away any moment.
It was
and she looked like a heavy set, she wasn't a lightweight woman. I can't imagine what it might have meant for the runners.
I wonder. But yeah, they're saying unhappy. We spend a lot of money and we are not happy to just get the medals for free for not running. So they don't want that. And on Mito's mobile question, many 702 lenders are so loyal. They've been using their mobile numbers since forever. There's one on our WhatsApp who's been using the same number since 1999.
Oh, goodness me. All right. Do you still have the same number? And what was your first mobile phone?
This is EWN.
Legendary athletes speak about the Sanlam Marathon running debacle, and Trump says the Gaza ceasefire is still in force after Israeli strikes. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Ultra-marathon runners Gerda Steyn and Ilroy Gelant have added their voices to the thousands of runners who were disappointed when the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon was cancelled. Severe winds wreaked havoc overnight, causing damage to infrastructure in the race village and along the route, prompting officials to cancel the event. The marathon was in line to become a member of the prestigious Abbott World Marathon Majors this year, joining an elite group which includes the New York, Boston, London and Tokyo marathons. Steyn says she was struggling to process the disbelief.
As a runner, as an athlete, you visualize every scenario that can take place on the day. To have the race cancelled so shortly before the start was not one of the scenarios that I played in my mind.
Gelant says everything was on point for the race to be granted its membership to be part of the Abbott World Marathon Majors.
It was on top, cherry on the cake. We got here, luggage was sorted out. I'm like, the chaperones take our luggage, they take it in the room. I'm like, what is this? This is next level. And I mean, it's all these small things that actually plays a major role. You just need to worry on your running, you know.
And the participants say they had to lift each other's spirits after the announcement was made. And five-time Sanlam Cape Town Marathon runner Lauren Kinsley says it is a special experience to see hundreds of runners take to the streets despite being disappointed by the cancellation.
I must say that I was amazed by the thousands of club runners who made the best out of a bad situation and went off for their own runs towards Camps Bay. The early morning streets were overrun with athletes and the spirits were high. It was a really special experience.
Carlo Peterson has more.
Clark Gardner, Group CEO of Faces, the organisers of the marathon, says severe winds caused extensive damage to the race village and route from just after midnight on Saturday.
En route, all fencing and road furniture had been blown over, so we could not guarantee the safety of our runners.
Gardner says assessors from the Abbott World Marathon Majors were present when the decision to cancel was made.
They were next to us from just after 5 a.m., assessing our crisis management capabilities, our crisis comms capabilities, and how professional we are or aren't.
Gardner says an announcement will be made this week about a special campaign that could see runners earn their Cape Town Marathon medals. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
The KwaZulu-Natal police officer accused of murdering crime intelligence official Constable Sibonelo Ngidi is expected to appear in the Pinetown Magistrates Court today. Ngidi was shot last week in what authorities believe was a case of road rage. The Hawks later identified the suspect as a member of a rapid rail police unit. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
After the fatal shooting of Constable Sibonelo Ngidi, the suspect fled the scene and managed to avoid arrest, even after the Hawks tried to track him down at his workplace. According to police, the shooting followed a confrontation over a right-of-way, with the officer allegedly threatening to shoot Ngidi moments before opening fire. Family spokesperson Siya Ngidi says they are now calling for justice.
Constable Ngidi was a humble person to us as a family and also in the community. Even at work, he was also a good person. So now we want justice in this matter. We thank you.
Investigators are still probing whether the firearm used was a state-issued weapon. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
And US President Donald Trump says a ceasefire in Gaza is still holding after Israel carried out deadly strikes on the territory over alleged truce violations by Hamas. The thousands of strikes Israel carried out on Hamas positions in southern Gaza yesterday came after it accused the militant group of targeting its troops in a blatant violation of the 9-day-old truce. Hamas has denied the accusations, with one official accusing Israel of fabricating pretexts to resume the war. Gaza Civil Defense Agency, which operates under Hamas authority, says the strikes killed at least 45 people across the territory. Asked by reporters whether the truce was still in effect, this is how Trump responded.
Well, we're going to have to see what's happening. We want to make sure that it's going to be very peaceful with Hamas. And as you know, they've been quite rambunctious. They've been doing some shooting, and we think maybe the leadership isn't involved in that, some rebels within, but either way it's going to be handled properly.
Gold is trading at $4,247.22 an ounce. The rand is at 17.33 to the dollar, 23.30 to the pound, 20.24 to the euro. Brent Crude oil is at $61.05 a barrel.
That accident in Midrand is still there on the N1 North, right near New Road. Delays from the Baku interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the Mark1 North. In fact, bumper-to-bumper delays between Empire Road and Corlett Drive while traveling in Rand Park Ridge. An accident on the N1 North near Bears Nadia Drive causing delays.
And in your sport, Pakistan elected to bat against the Proteas in the second test a short while ago. They're 35-1, Harmer with the wicket. Manchester United get back-to-back wins in the league for the first time this season. They beat Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield. The Springbok squad for the end-of-year tour will be announced at 10 this morning. Max Verstappen dominated in the USA to have a real outside chance of still winning the F1 championship.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers. The temperatures will peak at highs between 16 and 18 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Ultra marathon runners Gerda Steyn and Ilroy Gelant have added their voices to the thousands of runners who were disappointed when the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon was cancelled.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, we spoke earlier to the CEO of the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon discussing the decision to cancel that event at the last minute. There won't be refunds for participants, but what they did say is if you enter next year or 2027, you will be prioritized and you will enter then for free if you can prove you were one of those who were disappointed yesterday. But next year's race being moved to May because, of course, they want to be part of that global scene of these elite marathons. That's going to have definite implications for people who normally run the two oceans, the Cape Town and the Comrades marathons. You're going to have to make some decisions there because, of course, hot on the heels of each other in April, May and June, some people may have to opt out of one or two. They are sponsored, Matteo, by an insurer.
Yeah.
Risk is a thing.
Yeah.
As frustrating as I can imagine it would have been for the 24,000 runners.
The actuaries are probably shaking their heads like, no.
Was never going to happen.
Let's not take the risk.
Was never.
But what's the
going
weather
to
like
happen.
in May in Cape Town?
Apparently, at least from the CEO, Clark Gardner, I almost said Eric Gardner. Clark Gardner was saying a little earlier on that May usually has much better conditions.
Okay.
So they're not going to be back here again, is the thinking. What's your nickname? The one they use for you behind the scenes? Have you discovered it? Do you have one for someone else who doesn't know? What do they call you behind the scenes?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
David, you're in Pretoria. You were in Cape Town. You were all set to run yesterday. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
So tell us what happened. I mean, where were you? How did you find out? What did you feel?
Well, Bongani, I took the last flight to Cape Town from Johannesburg on Saturday, after having participated in a 5-kilometer, park run at the Fort Trekker Monument. And during that, 5-kilometer park run, it was raining. We were all drenched. So, traveled to Cape Town. We waited in the starting line, and we were informed that the race is not starting. So, Bongani, here are two quick things from my end. The first one is that the Sanlam Marathon was my second installment, and I liked the race. And they've got the most beautiful medals. As runners, Bongani, we really appreciate and we love our medals. But I am not going to, be very satisfied just to get a medal, which I have not earned it. So that's the first one. The second issue is that I think the organizers have made a mistake, because when you are postponing an event of that magnitude, you need to be able to show those that are involved, especially in a race where you know that runners are not going to be refunded. You need to be able to demonstrate that at least you are attempting something, because they could have said, look, we are delaying the start by 2 hours, by 3 hours. We were going to understand that. We know it's the Cape of Storms, But what I can tell you, Bongani, is that at the time in which we were about to start running, there was absolutely no wind. In Cape Town, it was calm. But of course, maybe they saw something that we didn't. We will accept, the decision that they've taken. But I am extremely disappointed. I will never go to run, the Sanlam Marathon in Cape Town. I suspect that they are moving it to May as a way in which they've already made the decision to move it to May, and then they've cancelled it now, perhaps as a ploy to get many people to participate even in the next installment. But not for me. I won't do Sanlam. I will not do Two Oceans. I will never go to Cape Town just to run. We have got more than enough races in Johannesburg. Thank you very much.
All right, David, very emphatic there. He will not be running any marathon, any race. Why is the Two Oceans catching strays? Look, I can imagine it would have been absolutely annoying and frustrating. You've booked flights, you've spent money, you've trained for months in advance. You've got targets in terms of a personal best. People want to be able to say, I've been running this particular marathon X number of years in a row. Not even this or that stopped me. And so to hear it would have been one thing perhaps if it was cancelled a day or two before, but to hear it at the starting line, I can imagine how frustrating that is. But you've also got to consider the risk that the organizers would have taken. It's one thing to say, yeah, but I usually run in that kind of weather on my own. Sure, at your discretion. But if something had gone wrong yesterday, the same people who are howling now would have been front and center saying, how could they let us run?
Bungles and team. Yeah, said Monday. I'm still in Cape Town, by the way, for the same marathon that everybody's talking about, Sanlam. Yes, it was very, very sad. I was very disappointed, to be quite honest, because the training, as everybody's been mentioning, the cost of being here and everything else, it was just so sad. But knowing runners, as they say, comrades, skafela moya, we ended up doing 21 kilometers because we had to run. We were ready to run. And guess what? How it happened. So I get to the venue, which is the stadium. One of the guys, I think the marshal, said to me, Sisi, your race has been cancelled. And I just looked at him. I'm like, suka wena. Here I am looking for girls that I obviously run with from Joburg. Look around. As I get there, I see one of the police says to me, Sisi, the race has been cancelled. I'm like, man, what is this? And I start looking in socials and there's nothing. And I'm expecting some form of communication from Sanlam, and it eventually came. But by the time it came, everybody had knew about this issue, or they were talking about it. And we were very upset as runners, obviously taking into consideration of everything else. But yeah, life goes on. Hey, Shadi, Kempton Park in Cape Town.
Hello, Bongani. I bet you if the marathon organizers had allowed the race to go ahead and there had been injuries, God forbid, and some fatalities, the very same people that are complaining as to why it was cancelled will be the same people complaining as to why the organizers had not stopped the race, because they had all the information regarding the dangers posed by the state of the weather. It's amazing, and it's really sad that at times we don't know what we want.
Yeah, look, I mean, of course, when you're there and you've paid the money and the accommodation, and I get why the runners were frustrated, but at the same time, I also know it was also about saving lives in the end, right? Lukhanyo's in Cape Town. Lukhanyo, very good morning to you. You're a resident of the city, I understand. I mean, how bad do these winds get?
There was no wind, Bongani. I mean, we went up Table Mountain in the morning, and usually that's where we'd experience a lot of wind going up the Table Mountain on Platteklip Gorge, and we did not experience the wind that they're talking about. And as we were going down, coming back from Table Mountain, we were wondering what the cancellation was all about. And throughout the day in the city, at least in the areas that I was in, we did not experience any wind that would force the race to cancel. And the video that is circulating currently, there's an old video of people being blown by wind in Cape Town and people holding onto rails. That's an old video that's recirculating, unless there's a new video that I'm not aware of. So this issue of wind is really unclear to me.
All right. So you don't think there was anything serious? I mean, could you consider that perhaps where you are isn't on the route of the race, and that there were areas where you might not have been where there were concerns about the wind?
So driving, I mean, that's possible. I mean, it's always a possibility. But as a resident, I mean, I know that, you know, as I said, if you're going up Table Mountain, that's where you experience a lot of wind. And driving in the route, in part of the route at least, of the race, we did not experience any wind. So I can't say that, you know, maybe in some areas that we did not drive in, there could have been wind. But as far as my experience is, we did not experience any wind.
Right, look, Hanya, take your point. He lives in Cape Town. He says not where he was. There was no wind. Was it entirely, you know, on all of the track or the route that the races would have gone? He can't say that for sure either. So it's just one of those, hey? Is it not?
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Nicknames. Me and my colleagues call our CEO Rey Mysterio because he's very short and he's got a small body frame. And whenever he calls you to his office, we joke about it being called for a 619.
Bongani and him. We had a secret nickname for our principal back in 1994, where I matriculated at Langezwa High School in Mpangeni. The principal was Tisha Yeni. His nickname was Intanti. I don't know where it stems from, but yeah, we have that nickname for Tisha Yeni, Principal Yeni. Nom Kofi in Pretoria, thank you.
Hi Bongani, Lee here from Centurion. We used to refer to our manager as Rihanna, or sometimes we'd call her Take a Bow. And that was because of a particular hairstyle that she had at some point. But it wasn't anything bad. It was actually quite cute. It's a compliment, but yeah.
Morning 702 family. I spent many years in the bank, and we had a colleague, older gentleman, so a little bit of silver on top, and he had a habit of wandering around the floors talking to all the pretty ladies, but carrying pieces of paper under his arm to look like he was very, very busy and was on a mission. And he never knew that his nickname was Johnny Walker White.
I think the worst is when you find out what your own nickname is, the one you're not supposed to hear, right? Amo, what's your nickname?
I don't have one.
You think?
I mean, I think I do know what my nickname is, but I'm okay with not knowing.
You think we don't have a name for you?
EWN.
20 after 8, the EWN traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
What's my nickname? What do you guys call me?
No, we don't call you any names.
Tell me. KG, where's KG laughing?
Muteo and KG have a look. What's happening on the roads?
Wow, I wonder what is it. Anyway, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is due to the roadworks that are taking place, causing heavy traffic volumes between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange. Please, if you're heading towards the city of Tshwane, try to use the R21 North instead. While traveling on the N1 North, we've got an accident in the Midrand area. It happened just before New Road. Delays from the Baklu turn off. The southerly direction of this route is also backed up from the Brakfontein interchange and the Olifantsfontein turn off.
Thank you, No Road.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for that video to download, or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 57-year-old Andy, who now pays only 1,083 Rand a month for his 2024 Ford Ranger. With Outsurance Comprehensive, you get 24/7 roadside assistance in case you break down, run out of petrol, lock your keys in the car, and more. Get used to getting more out. SMS out to 45142. After switching, 48-year-old Felicity now pays only 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tucson. Outsurance will either save you money on your car insurance or give you cash. That's right. If Outsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
At the heart of the global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
The festive rush doesn't wait. Orders, deliveries, messages, calls. This summer, you'll need connectivity that doesn't tap out when the pressure is on. With Telkom Business, you get reliable, high-speed connectivity for just $2.99 per month. That's our unlimited LTE, all hours basic plan, 10 megabytes per second. No caps, no excuses.
This summer, your business deserves the best. Visit telkom.co.za/business for deals that grow your business. T's and C's apply. Telkom Business. Possible begins here.
Smart Steve from Momentum. Hello.
Stevie, it's Clinton Myers, the Minister of National Treasures.
Mr. Minister, how can Momentum Insure help you?
This economy is not helping with the cost of my gusheshe, my tires, man.
Just get Momentum Insure's safety returns and get up to 30% cash back, even if you claim.
Is it true?
Stru's Bob, Mr. Minister. Visit momentum.co.za or call 0860 006 784. Momentum Insure, keeping you safe on your journey to success. Momentum Insure is an authorized non-life insurer. T's and C's apply.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
23 after 8, let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, let's start with America's drugs spat with Colombia.
Yeah, morning, Bongs. Yeah, this is two presidents at each other, Donald Trump versus Gustavo Petro, who have seen eye to eye on pretty much anything, really. But anyway, here we have Donald Trump saying he will no longer offer subsidies to Colombia, one of the country's closest South American allies, or at least it was once upon a time. This is over the fact that Colombia's president is protesting and accusing America of committing murder over one of their attacks on a supposed drugs boat. Gustavo Petro says that, in fact, America violated his country's sovereignty and killed a Colombian fisherman in the process, that the boat was adrift, had its distress signal up due to engine failure, and they await an explanation from the US. President Trump is saying that essentially Gustavo Petro is enabling and turning a blind eye. He is, as he put it, an illegal drug leader and allowing the export of drugs into the United States. The US military and Coast Guard have struck 6 times now. That's 6 boats or submarines sunk by them, and not all of them Colombian, I think Venezuelan as well, but things are certainly heating up in that part of the world. They're not exactly going to see eye to eye. One man's insurrection is another person's necessarily quelling of a crime.
It's extraordinary, though, because these attacks are said to have happened in international waters. And again, I mean, the whole point of an allegation is that it hasn't been tested, isn't it? I mean, these are now very clearly extrajudicial killings by the American military, and I think that's a worrying development. Now, let's talk about a daring heist at one of the most famous museums in the world, Adam.
It's difficult, isn't it, not to be a bit impressed by this heist, but you kind of know that also they are criminals. They've gone off with ill-gotten gains. They've stolen part of France's heritage, after all. But 8 priceless pieces of jewelry, necklaces, tiaras, brooches, that sort of thing, encrusted with diamonds and emeralds and sapphires, one a brooch with 2,500 diamonds in it. They dropped along the way a crown belonging to Empress Eugenie, who was married to Napoleon III. All of this stuff is basically 19th century, a kind of French equivalent of the crown jewels, apart from the fact that they're not royal family. The heist itself took less than 4 minutes. The thieves broke in broad daylight. The Louvre was open at the time. The museum had lots of people in it, people milling about. They broke in, they went in up through a basket lift, which wouldn't normally be used to carry people, is my understanding. And within 4 minutes, they'd chosen the jewelry, they'd broken into the cases, they made off with them on mopeds and gone. The French president says they will absolutely recover the items and bring the thieves to justice. Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? At this stage, there's a huge manhunt in France, and a lot of people are rather aghast at how easy it seemed to be for them to do this.
Oh, and the fall of Prince Andrew from grace. Adam?
You would think he couldn't fall any further, but yeah, there seems to be another trapdoor and another trapdoor. So here he goes. He's already lost his HRH. Now he's giving up his Duke of York title and membership of the Order of the Garter, which to you and I is just so what. But to people who move in those circles, that's terribly important, that chivalry membership thing. But also the number of charities, I work for one, that's ditched him as a patron, and other businesses. He's got almost no business interests anymore, nor has his wife. Sarah, no longer the Duchess of York, Fergie, as we used to, remember her when she was Fergie. She no longer has charities or other associations as well. It's very tricky because it's all about their association with Jeffrey Epstein and what is now being said through recovered emails. Virginia Giuffre's memoir, the late Virginia Giuffre, she took her own life earlier this year. Her memoir comes out tomorrow, and a palace source has said, we are expecting more painful days ahead. The latest one being that Prince Andrew, allegedly, tried to use a police protection officer to dig the dirt on Virginia Giuffre so that he himself would be in the all clear. It's only an allegation, but oh my word, the stuff surrounding him, where does he go from here, apart from further down?
And didn't they have an out-of-court settlement, if I remember correctly, with
Yes, they
Giuffre,
did,
his accuser? But that book, as you say, Adam, likely another trapdoor.
EWN Business.
Right, business news, 28 after 8. Muteo Kharibe, let's wrap up the morning's business news. Naspers subsidiary taking controlling stake in leading delivery firm.
Yeah, Prosus has now acquired a further 8% stake in JustEatTakeaway.com. This will see the delivery firm delist from the Euronext Amsterdam exchange by mid-November. Naspers completed an 83 billion rand acquisition of the European food delivery business through its international unit Prosus earlier this month when the offer became unconditional. Now, Just Eat Takeaway serves some 60 million customers across 17 countries. These users can order from a network of 356,000 partner restaurants. They operate in countries like the UK, Canada, Netherlands, and Australia, among others. Prosus now owns 98% of JustEatTakeaway.com.
4.8%. It would be a lovely number, not so much for the Chinese.
No, Chinese economic growth slowed to the weakest pace in a year in the third quarter as a property crisis in China and trade tensions further hurt demand. Data this morning showing that gross domestic product grew 4.8% between July and September, slowing from the 5.2% in the second quarter.
Indicators?
Rand at 17 Rand 34 against the US dollar in the green this morning, at 20 Rand 23 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 29 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,241 an ounce, while platinum is down close to 2% at $1,578. Brent crude at $60.73 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Coming up, we're going to tell you about the Josie Food and Music Festival coming to Constitution Hill this Saturday. Many people still upset, of course, those runners from the Cape Town Marathon at the weekend, Sfiso Zulu, but there are reasons why it was cancelled, hey?
That's right, Bongani. Some major event organizers say people's safety is the ultimate concern when considering whether an event should be called off. Ian Burner, who along with his partner successfully staged Formula E in Cape Town in February 2023, shared some insight after the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon was cancelled yesterday due to extreme weather. Banner says he has no doubt The Joint Operations Centre weighed up all their options before making the decision to cancel the event.
The race director, along with the necessary police, traffic officials, city officials, etc., who would have been in the VOC, the Venue Operations Centre, or the Race Operations Centre, would have, through the night, been monitoring the impact on infrastructure.
If you still haven't filed your tax return, today is the last day to do so. Today is D-Day for non-provisional taxpayers to submit annual income tax returns. In a statement last week, SARS Commissioner Edward Kieswetter warned that the failure to submit a return on time is a serious offence and non-compliance could lead to administrative penalties and interest charges. At the time, he said 80% of taxpayers had filed before the 20th of October deadline. This includes about 6 million taxpayers who had been assessed and received their refunds within 72 hours. Lauren Isaacs reports.
The South African Revenue Service says it's made every effort to simplify and support the filing process through enhanced digital platforms, auto-assessment and accessible helplines. The Revenue Service says taxpayers have been empowered to meet their obligations with ease and efficiency. Commissioner Edward Kieswetter says, as part of their strategic focus to encourage voluntary compliance and enforce the law, SARS will continue to identify and act against those who do not meet their tax obligations. He says while many taxpayers wait until the last minute to file their returns, rushing invites errors, misjudgments, unnecessary stress, and long queues at SARS branches. Lauren Isaacs, Eyewitness News.
Basic Education Minister Siviwe Kwagube will outline the country's readiness to deliver a smooth and secure exam season. Kwagube will host a media briefing in Mpumalanga today ahead of the 2025 National Senior Certificate exams, which start tomorrow until the 27th of November. The minister is expected to detail the number of registered candidates, the distribution of exam centres across the province, and support measures in place to help learners prepare. She will also highlight any security threats identified and the mitigation strategies being implemented to protect the integrity of the exams. Minister spokesperson Terence Khala.
Now, the annual National Senior Certificate examinations represent a key milestone for the basic education sector, and the media briefing will see the minister announce key metrics and statistical data around the National Senior Certificate examinations.
And the last Ebola patient in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been released from a treatment center in Kasai province. The United Nations Health Agency says the patient is the 19th to recover out of 64 total cases that were recorded since the outbreak was declared in September. If no new cases are discovered in the next 42 days, the outbreak will be declared over. The outbreak, which is the DRC's 16th to date, was declared in September as Ebola cases appeared in the Bulape and Mwaka areas of the Kasai province in the country's southwest. Since then, the WHO has tallied 53 confirmed and 11 probable cases, with patients showing typical Ebola symptoms such as fever, vomiting and diarrhea. 45 people have died. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers expected today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 16 and 18 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Mike 1 North. This is between Empire Road and Corlett Drive. While traveling out of Soweto towards Florida, we've got an accident reported on the N1 North right near Albertina Sisulu Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes. Please be on the lookout there.
The top story, a major event organizer weighing in on the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon cancellation says people's safety is the ultimate concern when considering whether an event should be called off.
Change arrives kicking and screaming. It's challenging, impatient, confusing. Change is a moment of peace. Change is life-affirming. Change is growth. Change is opportunity. We've always believed it's worth investing in. For over 3 decades, we have been committed to seeking out the best investment opportunities for you, wherever they may be. 91. Investing for a world of change. 91 is an authorized FSP.
At Premier Hotels and Resorts, business travelers staying alone enjoy a complimentary drink every night of their stay. So, whatever your tipple,
it's on the house at any of our 24 hotels and resorts nationwide. Book today at premierhotels.co.za.
Naked people always get dessert. Because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums, they've got more money for Mulva pudding. Or cheesecake. Or both. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And because it's all online, it also costs less. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start treating yourself like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hello, Bongani. Hey, we had a boss. We used to call her Cruella de Vil. She found out eventually, and yeah, it never turned out very nice.
Good morning, Bongani. We had a female CEO. She was Austrian, and she ruled at our company. All the managers and the other CEOs were all male, and we used to call her Past Mrs. Yes.
They're calling me Mama Bear because I'm a mother of 12 children and a grandmother of 27 grandchildren. I'm a mother of 12 children and a grandmother of 27 children. So maybe that is why they call me Mama Bear. I said, shoo. So I just also laughed about it.
Morning 702. I have a nickname for Amma. It's Kilulis. Bye.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Amu's nickname is 2 billion. 2 billion rand. This is Carl from Captain Park.
2 billion. We're talking about nicknames you have for people, maybe bosses, maybe even family members. And what is that nickname you have discovered people call you behind your back?
Good morning, Bongani and friends. I have had my same number. I can't even remember when cells became a thing, but certainly I had one of the first cell phones in, I would think, the 80s, mid-80s, and I have kept my same number all these years. My first phone was a brick called a Motorola. And yes, we have progressed somewhat since those days.
Good morning, guys. Matilda. My first phone was a Siemens, and believe it or not, I've had the same number my entire life. My whole life, guys. I've never changed my number. Bonnie from Fourways.
Bonnie from Fourways. I mean, there are so many people who've actually retained their initial phone number. Cindy Paluta, I would say you're one of them.
I am. So I have my original phone number from 1997. And my first phone was an Alcatel, and because obviously everything was hand-me-down, and now children gather round the radio as Granny Cindy tells you, and this is going to scare you. When cell phones first came out, the battery used to come out of the phone, and you had to charge your battery, so you couldn't access your phone while your battery was charging. In my Alcatel, the battery never used to stay in the phone, so I had elastic bands around the bottom between the 0 and the 7, 8, and 9 row of numbers that used to hold the battery to the phone. And it could be in mid-conversation, children, and the battery would slip out and the conversation would end, and I would have to plug my battery back in, tighten the elastics, and phone the person back. An actual call, no messages. Before SMSs.
And remember when your phone fell in water and then you have to take the battery out and put the phone with the battery in rice.
I will tell you, I had a Nokia, guys. A Nokia 3310. They joke about it, but that thing will survive a nuclear war, right? And we went to go watch rugby at Ellis Park, and I had my phone. I had a backpack on that had a strap across the chest, and the phone was in the front. We got stuck in a torrential downpour, and exactly that. I got home and I put my phone in rice, and by the morning I was making phone calls again.
EWN Sport.
All right, Cindy, take us to Pakistan.
Then, children, We went through a phase where you used to pay to have the Casio version of your ringtone.
Yes.
So I had Eminem, and it used to go ting 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 ting.
My gosh. I remember when one of the things about unboxing a new phone was deciding what your ringtone was going to be.
No, you had to. Let me tell you, children. So when you got a new phone, you couldn't just use it straight away. You had to charge it for
For a
24
few hours,
hours
yeah.
before you could
There
use
we go.
it.
Gosh, we sound so old.
Right.
Take us to Pakistan, please.
Let me take you to Pakistan. Yes. Where it's all live and connectivity and all happening. Pakistan elected to bat against the Proteas, and it's definitely going the host's way. Despite losing Ul Haq for 17, they were bowled by Harmer. Pakistan are currently 88 for 1. At the Women's Cricket World Cup today, Sri Lanka plays Bangladesh. Yesterday, England beat India by 4 runs to book their place in the semi-finals with South Africa and Australia. So India will have to hold off New Zealand if they are to make the semi-finals. Manchester United got their first back-to-back wins in the league this season. Right? Beating Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield. Mbeumo and Maguire with the goals between Gakpo's goal. So United boss Ruben Amorim getting his first back-to-back league wins.
I don't have many wins in Manchester, so this is really important. This back-to-back is an Anfield. Every detail of this game, it's something that I am speaking for a while. The spirit, when we suffer a bad moment or a goal, maintain the composure. All these small things today was perfect. I think was really important for our fans because they are struggling.
Aston Villa came from a goal down to beat Spurs 2-1. One game tonight, West Ham host Brentford. In the CAF Champions League, Orlando Pirates have an uphill battle now to get to the group stage as they lost to St. Eloi Lupopo in the Congo 3-0, while Sundowns are cruising after a 5-1 win over Nigeria's Remo Stars. The Springbok team for the end-of-year tour will be announced this morning at 10 a.m. In the URC, it's the Stormers who are top of the table overall as the Bulls and Lions won this weekend as well. The Sharks lost. Max Verstappen believes he can still win the championship after taking victory in the sprint and main race at this weekend's US Grand Prix. He's now just 40 points behind championship leader Piastri. Piastri finished 5th yesterday. Norris was 2nd, Leclerc 3rd, and Hamilton in 4th. And in golf at the India Open, won by Tommy Fleetwood, who finished on 22 under overall, 2 ahead of the field. South African Tristan Lawrence was 3rd, 4 off the pace. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
There's strong, then there's AfriSem Strong. So champion the build with AfriSem Cement, the trusted A1 choice for builders who demand nothing less than superior quality. Crafted for exceptional strength, proven durability, and proudly produced in Mzansi. Because some builds just aren't strong. They're built to last with AfriSam, proud official sponsor to the Springboks.
When 55-year-old Stefan got his deal from OutSurance, he grabbed it faster than a green traffic light. He only pays 611 Rand a month for his 2024 Suzuki Jimny. And after just one call, 31-year-old Balisa bagged a bargain of just 926 Rand for her 2024 Kia Sonet. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142 today. So that's out to 45142. OutSurance, a licensed insurer, and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
The milk steamer was loud. So loud that Lungi heard hot milk instead of oat milk. It was bad. So bad. The milk didn't really sit right with the lactose intolerant customer. It was bad. So bad. Too bad they didn't have Yoko Counter. With Yoko Printer, orders flow straight to the barista. So good. Yoko Counter. Super simple POS and payments in one. No contracts, no hidden costs.
People are talking, everybody's talking, and they're saying it's time to make insurance great again. They said our low premiums were fake news. Wrong. We're putting customers first. We're gonna drain the insurance swamp. It's full of hidden fees. But when we clean it up, believe me, it's gonna be huge.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision people are saying ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just like our insurance.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's wrap up the morning's traffic. It's 8:45. 2 billion, Gilulis.
Well, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is as you head towards Midrand, an accident right near New Road, causing delays coming out of the Baklu interchange. And then there's also roadworks that are causing delays towards the Baklu turn off, coming out of the N3 North. Delays from Vincent Chabalala Road. Please try to use the R21 North heading towards areas like Tembisa, Midrand, or even the city of Tshwane. While traveling on the Mike 1 North, we still have got some peak time delays reported between Boyson's Road and Carr Street. The N3 North between Van Buren Road and the Kiluli's interchange is also backed up, so please be on the lookout there. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
In business, there are no guarantees, but here's a guarantee you can bank on. Switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance and get a guaranteed non-escalating premium for 12 months, even if you claim. For pharmacies, restaurants, beauty salons, convenience stores, and other industries, OUTsurance Business Insurance are trusted partners and experts in insuring your business. Get more out. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. A licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Lyft is turning 5 and we're celebrating with South Africa. Back in 2020, the public chose our name, and now 5 years later, Lyft is inviting you to design a tale of a real Airbus A320. That's right, your design could take to the skies on one of our aircraft. And the best part? The winning designer gets flights for a whole year. Don't miss your chance to leave your mark on South African skies. Visit lyft.co.za to enter today. T's and C's apply.
Are you ready to be inspired and grow your business? The South African Future Trust Summits, in partnership with Standard Bank and 702, returns to the Sandton Convention Centre on 5 and 6 November. Gain insights from international and local speakers. Connect with entrepreneurs and investors, and come and pitch your business idea or come and buy a business in a box. Tickets are limited and selling fast. Grab yours now at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
All right, Clement Manyatela on your radio between 9 and 12. Clement, a very good morning to you. Before we even get to what's on the show today, I want to hear your Sanlam Cape Town Marathon experience and that cancellation.
I mean, it was devastating, Bongani. Anyone who has been training for so long, because actually training for a marathon involves a lot of sacrifice, involves a lot of pain. So when you've worked so hard and then as you wake up in the morning, in fact, about to leave, and then you start getting those messages, WhatsApps over the cancellation, it's quite devastating. But you know, a lot of the runners will, of course, appreciate that safety comes first. I don't see why we would want to push ahead with a marathon when safety can't be guaranteed, because the next day, if one person dies, if anything happens, we're the first ones that goes after the organizer. So I appreciated that they put safety first, and yeah, we move on. We'll be back here in May to do it again.
It is what it is, because also I spoke to the CEO who says if you weren't able to run this year, you'll get free entry and prioritization next year and the year after that. Or the
tricky
after
part.
That.
Yeah, the tricky part is that there are a few marathons that as runners we participate in, and the dates matter, right?
Yep.
There are certain people that will be doing 2 oceans. You know, there are certain people who want to do the London or the Paris marathon. And then now the date is in May, so it complicates things because some of the marathons are around the same time. So now you have to make the difficult choice of, I'm not going to do Sanlam again, or maybe next year, or I have to cancel one of the other marathons. But yeah, it is what it is.
Runners' problems. What's on the show?
Coming up on the show today, on the 702 open line, we'll reflect on that. I would like to hear from some people who also were planning to run the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon. How did you deal with the cancellation yesterday? But also, how did you find out? I mean, Bongani, I was telling my friends were already ready, so I got the call first in the morning that, it's just been cancelled before, of course, the messages were also sent out. And I remember when I went downstairs, they were already having breakfast ready to go, and they couldn't believe when I told them that the marathon is not happening. So I want to hear how other people found out yesterday. So that's what we're going to do first on the 702 open line. We'll reflect on this ceasefire in the Middle East. Is it holding or not? But at 10 o'clock, we're going to be live at the Madlanga Commission to hear the testimony from one of the witnesses. At 10:30, we start a new series today, a bit of a history lesson. So we'll be looking at South African wars over the next couple of weeks. And today we start with the First Boer War. And then at 11 o'clock, we wrap up the show with our Family Matters feature, and we're discussing navigating grief for parents who have lost their children. Have you lost a child through whatever circumstance? How have you navigated that? That's our show today.
Clement Manyatela between 9 and 12.
Breathe in, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. In, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. Again. In, insurance. Out, pineapple. Again and again.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
It's time to hit the streets and show what you're made of. The Discovery Vitality Chicken Run, flavored by Nando's, is on Saturday, 8 November at 5. And this one's pure city magic, reimagined, revitalized through Josie, my Josie. Choose 5K for fun, 10K for bragging rights. Not ready? Well, if you've sprinted for a taxi or dodged potholes or climbed stairs when the power was out, you're trained, man. Get there, and it's going to be easy via the How train to Park Station, then a free Prasa train to Ellis Park. Lace up and show up. Enter now at racepass.com.
Betway is taking you to dizzying new heights in one of the world's most popular games, Aviator. Place your bets and watch the multiplier climb higher and higher. Pick the right time to cash out and stand to win millions on a single bet. It's all possible from the palm of your hand. Get way more only at Betway. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Are you a foodie who loves live music? Then get ready for an unforgettable experience at the Josie Food and Music Festival. It's happening this weekend, the 25th of October at Constitution Hill. Expect to be blown away. Some of South Africa's most celebrated artists, including, of course, Vusi Nova, Mlindo the vocalist, Trompis, Angelic. But it's not just about music. It's also going to be about your taste buds in for a treat. From township flavors to global cuisine, there's crafts markets, family-friendly zones, creative activations. The festival aims to capture the essence and vibrancy of Johannesburg. Mikey Mashila is the head of marketing for the Josie Food and Music Festival and joins us in studio. Mikey, welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning to everyone who's listening.
The Josie Food and Music Festival at Constitution Hill.
It's a big one. I'm
just going to ask you to come a little closer to the mic.
Thank you. Awesome.
Mikey?
yeah, Mikey for the mics. It's a big one for us as the Josie Food and Music Festival. It's our first one, and we are so excited to be giving people a platform to celebrate and also to be proud of Josie, our city. And 25 October, soon come.
Why is this a must-attend event?
It's a platform whereby we are celebrating our very own variety. You know, Josie is a very vibrant city. So, you know, when it comes to food, it offers a very a big platform for people to experience a lot of dishes from different places. You know, we come from different provinces here, and, you know, we gather here in the city of Johannesburg to exchange, you know, the ingredients that makes us who we are. You know, as a vendor guy, you know, I really love pap and, you know, and meats, you know, and, you know, you go to Mai, you get that extension from KwaZulu-Natal coming to Johannesburg. So it's an exchange of who we are going into celebrating the Josie and the city.
So when we're talking about food, are you going to have celebrity chefs, established chefs, or is it about giving exposure to up-and-coming chefs? Is it about street food? What exactly? How's that element of it going to work?
So we have partnered with local township vendors and food brands and up-and-coming creatives. So the theme for this year is empowerment. So the SMME part of it, of the empowerment zone, is where we'll be given small businesses to connect, learn, and trade. So, you know, we have open application for people from Soweto, from Tembisa to come through and, you know, showcase their products or food. And it's not just food only. Also, we have craft. We have, you know, we've got kiddies zones. We also have some brands who are popping up with us there to give us more experiences for the Josie Food and Music Festival.
So who's the festival designed for? Are you looking for young adults? Are you looking for families with young kids? Is it about food enthusiasts or music lovers? Who's going to benefit most from attending?
So let me just start by, you know, the idea was born from a desire to create a platform that celebrates Johannesburg's true identity. So it's about its people, its culture, its creativity, and we wanted to build something that brings people together. And as I said, it's just not more about food, it's also about music and also celebrating entrepreneurship for the SMMEs that we have on the platform in a space that honors our history. You know, Constitution Hill is symbolic and it's where freedom meets expression. And that's where, this is what the festival represents. So it represents empowerment, unity, and pride in who we are as Josie. And it's open to anyone and also families, young kids. And, you know, we are so happy to open our doors to the people of Josie. Yeah.
I mean, you've got an incredible lineup of artists, but at the same time, I imagine as an organizer, part of what you have to figure out is how to cater to a wide variety of tastes and music interests.
Yeah, you know, we created a lineup that reflects our diversity, you know, looking at Trompies who you know, the innovators, you know, of Kwaito, going to KO, Mr. Cash Time, you know, Run Josie. We have Murder who, you know, representing the three-step community, Mlino the vocalist, you know, the Afropop community, Vusi Nova, the Afropop community also, Angelic on the Amapiano, and, you know, we have Manana also on the, you know, alternative soul, Sean 101. So if you see, the lineup is very diverse, representing, you know, the diverse variety of Johannesburg, yeah.
All right, I mean, Trump is, of course, one of the groups that is going to be performing. Tickets are available at Web Tickets or in-store at Pick and Pay. The date is Saturday, the 25th of October.
Yeah.
It's going to be happening at the People's Park. That's at Constitution Hill. And it starts at 12 p.m. going all the way to 2 in the morning. Oh man, it's going to be so much fun. This is going to be one of those busy weekends. If you want to be a part of that, get your tickets, as I say, in store at Pick and Pay. Also, of course, from Web Tickets. Appreciate your time. Mikey Mashila, Head of Marketing. for the Josie Food and Music Festival. And with that, our time is up this Monday. See you bright and early tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, and the Clement Manyatela Show begins now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulum. Ultra-marathon runners Gerda Steyn and Ilroy Geland have added their voices to the thousands of runners